Good evening, everybody, and welcome into the Buckeye Racing Network. I'm Tyler Bentley. Alongside me in the booth is Tim Henderson. Tim, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing wonderful. How about yourself, buddy?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. We are signed in here at the Limaland Motorsports Park for round number 5 of this 360 Harvest Cup. Here at practice session is coming to a close. Matt Grimm, Derek Patetti, and I believe that's Dane Culver, 1, 2, and 3, all within 1/100th of a second of each other in practice. Looks like potentially 26 total cars signed in for action here in round number 5. 24 have taken a time. 2 others signed in have not run a practice lap. Again, welcome in everybody. Tim, you already have some fans in the chat. You know, we can't go anywhere without Tim getting called his new nicknames. Gotta love it. Love to see it out there in the chat. I mean, we appreciate all the support. That's for sure. Well, Tim, you just wrapped up some racing action in the 305 sprint cars. Did you take away anything here from Limaland when you drove that 305?
Yeah, I do not belong behind the wheel of any winged sprint car. That is what I learned.
Well, I guess that's not a good outlook, folks. But anyways, that's a positive. That is a truthful outlook. Let's put it that way. Anyways, we have some really awesome drivers signed in for action tonight. We're going to see what happens in our qualifying session. 5 minutes on the clock. Michael Scurring, one of the first drivers to head out on the racetrack. I believe the first driver on to the racetrack in that number 07 machine. He heads out there, going to run the high side here in 1 and 2.
I think the track's going to get real slick, and you're going to see people look to find any sort of tackiness in the track, I think.
I believe so. Scurring's first lap a 12:08. His second lap was a 12:09. Matt Taylor just came across the line. Ran an 11:91. Now there's Scott Thomason to the top of the board in that 18 machine at 11:76. Justin Osborne now pops up with an 11:38 in his number 0 black and yellow car. Lap 2, was he able to improve? No, not that time. Let's take a look at Trevor Royer, driver of the number 90 machine here tonight. So he works his way around the outside of the racetrack. See what happens on lap number 1 for Trevor. Trevor runs an 11:84, 7th quick so far. Craig Silby just turned an 11:78, 5th quick for him. He's going to run the bottom here on lap 2. Interesting line. Does that improve his lap time? It does. 11:55, 3rd quick. Ty Dickinson now working around the racetrack. He starts lap number 1, or just completes lap number 1, excuse me. He runs an 12 flat, 15th quick for now. Brandon Matson, Jack Burke on the racetrack as well. Lap number 2 for Ty. Is an improvement, 11:81, 12th quick. Caden Berry, points leader coming into tonight by 30 over second place Matt Grimm. He's getting the car wound up, about to come to the start-finish line to complete lap number 1. Lap number 1 for Caden at 11:44 puts him up to 2nd on the board. Lap 2 for Caden. A little slower at 11:58. He takes at 11:44. Here's 2nd place in the points, Matt Grimm in the 91 machine. Lap 1 for Matt Grimm, going to be a 11:59, 9th quick. Ernie Williams Jr. ran in 11:44. He's up in the top 3. Grimm's 2nd lap, better in 11:46 to P4. Looks like all the cars have taken a time. It looks like just one has not made it onto the speedway for its qualifying effort. That's going to be the 27 of Jimbo Rooney. He just wrapped up racing action in the 305 division. We'll see if he chooses to head out on the racetrack. Still has time, got a minute and a half yet before this qualifying session is over. Brought to you by Two Fat Guys Sim Racing Promotions here tonight, as it is each and every event here in the Harvest Cup. Right now, Justin Osborne sitting in the catbird seat with an 11:38, 0.05 of a second better than Caden Berry. They're in second. As I say that, looks like Jimbo Rooney heads out of the pit area, slow rolls down the back straightaway. Picks up the throttle getting into turn 3. Green flag waves for Jimbo. Lap 1 complete. He runs an 11:89, 22nd quick. Lap 2 complete. And he improves 11:58 into the top 10 for Jimbo Rooney. Last car out in qualifying with a top 10 time. Very nice for Jimbo. Concludes our qualifying session here tonight. We're ready to roll into heat racing action. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for heat race number 1. On row number 1 is going to be Justin Osborne and Matt Grimm. Row 2 will be Trevor Royer and Jimbo Rooney. Row number 3 will be Brandon Matson and Gavin Chatham. Row 4, Craig Silby and Alex Rzinski. And row 5 is going to be Michael Scurring. All right, drivers gridding up behind the pace truck here. Ready for action in heat race number 1. 9 drivers here to do battle for, I believe it's only going to be 4 transfer spots, correct, Tim?
That is correct. But I believe everyone's going to make it. Not sure, but
well, we have 26 starters. I don't think they take 26
okay,
into the feature. So
okay, yeah, you're right.
Maybe a couple.
I think yeah. So we'll see a B main for sure.
Brought to you by Admin Box. Haven't seen any up to this point in this Harvest Cup season, but we will or should have one tonight. Pace truck peels off though. Justin Osborne hits the gas. Green flag is in the air. We are rolling in heat number 1. Trevor Royer, he drops his car all the way down close to the tractor tires in turn 1 and 2. He's going to try to take that second spot. Has it 4 now. But Matt Grimm through the middle part of 3 and 4 with some momentum. He's going to power around the outside of Royer. Grimm to second, Royer back to third for now. Brandon Matson holds on to the final transfer spot just in front of Michael Scurring. Craig Silby works the bottom underneath Scurring. Maybe see if anything happens there. Not this time, out of turn 2. Back up a couple of positions. Royer and Grimm still battling side by side for that second spot. Justin Osborne right in front of them, just a couple of car lengths.
Silby works his way around Scurring using that bottom. Scurring is still electing, well, he goes bottom there. As you're going to have Gavin run the high side behind him.
Absolutely. Silby still working down low. He is into that 4th spot for now. Matson's been committed up high, so this is the battle for that transfer spot we've been talking about. We have a 3-car battle for the lead, though. Royer and Grimm are right there to Justin Osborne. Osborne under fire. Royer all the way down low. Grimm through the middle. Justin Osborne all the way around the cushion. What a battle for the lead. 2 to go. And the battle for the transfer spot. Silby has put a little bit of breathing room between himself now and Matson. back up front. Royer trying to make something happen down low. White flag is in the air. I think we had a couple cars get together. They are slow right in front of the leaders out of turn 4. One stopped to pie, but Justin Osborne out of turn 4 holds on for the win. Matt Grimm second, Trevor Royer third, and Craig Silby holds on for that final transfer spot here. Brandon Matson fifth, Alex Rosinski sixth, Michael Skirring seventh, Jimbo Rooney eighth, and Gavin Chatham will be credited with the ninth spot in our first heat of the evening. Starting lineup for heat race number 2. Caden Berry and Ryan Sheet on the front row. Row 2, Barrett Bishop and Dane Culver. Row 3, Derek Patetti and Jeremy Christensen. Row 4 will be Ty Dickinson and Matt Taylor. And row 5 will be Curtis Bishop.
Take a good solid look at that 15 machine, that blue and orange. Best color combo.
Oh, yeah, of course you say that, Tim.
Certainly better than scarlet and silver.
Well, everybody has their opinions. We're not going to dwell on that. We still got some more racing to do. Up front, pace truck's going to peel off. Caden Berry will be in control for heat race 2. He gasses it up. Green flag is in the air. We are underway. 10 laps the distance. The heat's a couple laps longer tonight since Limaland is a little bit shorter. Ryan Sheet, Barrett Bishop, second and third, fourth. And final transfer spot held on currently by Dane Culver, Derek Patetti, Jeremy Christensen, and a handful of others on the outside looking in. Look at Ryan Sheet. He has a peek to the inside of Barry. Nothing doing there. Barrett Bishop battling with the 50 of Dane Culver. Remember, these top 4 will transfer. Oh, be careful! And a slider, and there goes Bishop. He goes up and over down the front straightaway. He has no top wing and still going for a ride into turn 1. We saw it all live. We'll go back and try to maybe decipher this just a little better. As you see the crazy battling out of 2 down the back straightaway, and then we get into turn 3. We'll slow things down. You see the 50 machine, he just drove into the corner really hard and tried to slide up, and the 10 was still on the outside, and he makes contact with him, and the 3 of Bishop nowhere to go, tags wheels with the 50, and he gets the worst end of it by far. You see now the nose wing of the 50 is off. Of course, the top wing of the 3 is off. So at least 2 or 3 cars will have to bring them down into the work area here, and Barrett Bishop and Dane Culver both are in the work areas right now. Pace laps tick away fast here at Limaland. Lights already out. It looks like Barrett Bishop, Dane Culver not going to be able to rejoin before we get the green flag. Looks like Derek Patetti laying back a little bit on that start, that restart, and that allowed Curtis Bishop to take a jump to the inside. Uh-oh, they tag wheels, so they both go around, Patetti and Bishop, but they get it going again. I don't know how that happened. Uh-oh.
Tandem 360 and a 180. We stay green.
We stay green for now, but Caden Berry up over 2 seconds over the rest of the field with 4 laps to go. Now, new faces in the top 4. Jeremy Christensen is second. Ty Dickinson will be third. Ryan Sheet rounds out the top 4. You saw him tangle up with somebody who was able to get back going. Curtis Bishop is within touch, but only 3 laps until the end of this one to get into that final transfer spot. Keep an eye on this battle for second, third, and fourth between Dickinson, Sheet, and Bishop. Caden Berry still holding steady with that 2-second advantage for the moment. We pop back up, check on Berry as he takes the white flag here in heat number 2. Nice and steady for Berry here on the white flag lap. Out of turn 4 to the checkered flag. Caden Berry wins heat 2. Jeremy Christensen second, Ty Dickinson third, and Ryan Sheet holds on for that fourth and final transfer spot. Curtis Bishop, Matt Taylor, Barrett Bishop, Dane Culver, and Derek Patetti will be battling out in the B main in just a few moments. Starting lineup for heat race number 3, Ernie Williams Jr. and Casey Brunson on the front row. Chase Porter and Nick Larry on row 2. Remington Wade and Scott Thomason in row 3. Jack Burke and Brian Kling there in row number 4. All right, Tim, how about you get us going here in the third heat of the night?
It'll be an honor to call the start of this race. Arnie Williams is going to lead the rest of the field down the backstretch. Pace truck is off. He can fire anytime. He fires now, and he is away to a 4-car advantage, almost 5 wide there for second. Chase Porter takes over the second position as he runs the slider line. Third place will be followed by, Chase Porter will be followed by Casey Brunson, and then Nick Larry and Jack Burke, who are battling for fourth and final transfer spot.
Absolutely, Tim, and it's fierce battling back there for that 4th spot. Larry has it. Jack Burke, Remington Wade searching around different lines to try to get up there and challenge him. Scott Thomason right there as well. Up front, though, Ernie Williams starting to stretch his legs. Almost 0.8 of a second, 4 laps in. Already 6 to go in heat number 3. Chase Porter looks to be content using that lower line. As I say that now, he pops up to the outside. Casey Brunson following them as well on the outside for now. Nick Larry still holds on to the 4th spot, but Jack Burke working the inside, starting to make some headway. Not quite even with him, but trying to be as smooth as possible, running that ultra low lane here around Limaland. As I say that, Remington Wade starting to make some headway on the outside. He's going to start challenging Burke for the 5th spot. At the line this time, Ernie Williams Jr. crosses over, 2 laps to go in this 3rd heat. Almost single file. Jack Burke creeping there around the bottom still. White flag in the air. We'll keep an eye on this battle. Burke didn't have a good 1 and 2, but out of turn 4, Ernie Williams Jr. wins heat 3. Chase Porter second, third to Casey Brunson. Nick Larry holds on for that 4th and final transfer spot. Jack Burke, Remington Wade, Scott Thomason, Brian Kling will head to the B main here tonight. All right, let's take a starting lineup here for our admin box B main. First B main, I think, of this Harvest Cup season. Row number 1 is going to be Brandon Matson and Curtis Bishop. Row 2, Jack Burke and Alex Szerzynski. Row 3, Matt Taylor and Remington Wade. Row 4 will be Michael Skirring and Barrett Bishop. Row 5, Scott Thomason and Jimbo Rooney. Row 6 will be Dane Culver, and Brian Kling. And row 7 will be Gavin Chatham and Derek Patetti. All right, Tim, with that special notebook of yours over there, what do we have for transfer spot in this B main?
Okay, so we're showing that it's going to take 8 to the feature, so that means a couple drivers are going to be going home early.
Absolutely, Michael Skirring, final car. As of now in the starting lineup, Brandon Matson takes the green flag underway. Just 10 laps of distance for our B main, so not a lot of time to get there. 2 cars going around with heavy contact. I think Dane Culver was part of it, Jimbo Rooney as well. Rooney slow rolling down the back straightaway, but is rolling. Caution flag waves here for the first time in our admin box B main. We're going to go back and take a look at what happened through 1 and 2 on the start. Looks like Rooney was trying to run his line. Dane Culver kind of gets up into him, and the cars just get tangled together there as Culver kind of goes up and over the nose of Rooney. And Rooney loses the front nose wing, and he tries to get off the racetrack, and he was just really slow. The admins decided to go ahead and throw the yellow flag here to make sure no problems for the leaders out front. Unfortunate start to the B main for Jimbo. Update on the top 8. Brandon Matson, Curtis Bishop, Jack Burke, Alex Rzazinski, Remington Wade, Matt Taylor, and Barrett Bishop make it actually Michael Skirring into the top 8 there as well. Single file for this restart. Still 8 laps to go. Matson accelerates. Green flag back in the air for this restart. Jack Burke still committed all the way down low. We saw him run that in his heat race. Alex Rzazinski rim riding up on the cushion. Remington Wade a couple of lanes lower. Then you find Matt Taylor and Barrett Bishop side by side. That's 6th and 7th. Back to Michael Skirring in 8th, who has cars side by side right behind him. That's Brian Kling and Gavin Chatham on the outside now looking in as we are coming to the halfway point in this admin box B main. 5 down, 5 to go already. Skirring's going to be under fire. Chatham has a good run down low. Let's see what happens, who prevails here. This is for all the marbles to participate in the feature. Still side by side for the spot. They're battling just in front. That's Wade and Taylor. That's 6th and 7th. They're battling for 2nd on up in front. Gavin Chatham into P8. Skirring now on the outside looking in, but he's got the momentum up on the outside. Tim, this is going to be close for the transfer.
Yeah, I was just paying attention to the battle for 2nd as well, as Rzazinski is all the way on the wall trying to chase down Curtis Bishop, and Jack Burke is wrapping the very inside next to the tires. You got to be careful with them tires. Let me tell you, Rzazinski's in the wall.
Yeah,
it was already checkered.
Checkered flag is out. Michael Skirring hangs on that last lap. Was able to get back by Gavin Chatham and will move on tonight. Gavin Chatham, Jimbo Rooney, Derek Patetti, and a few others not going to transfer on. We'll take a look at the results of that B main. Here, you see the top 8 will transfer on. Brandon Matson, Curtis Bishop, Alex Rosinski, Jack Burke, Barrett Bishop, Remington Wade, Matt Taylor, Michael Scurring, by not quite 2/10 of a second, was able to get back by Gavin Chatham. So, unfortunately, Gavin Chatham, Derek Patetti, Brian Kling, Scott Thomason, Dane Culver, and Jimbo Rooney all will have to call it a night, as we have our now 20 starters for our feature race here at Limaland tonight. All right, looks like admins have decided to call the track prep early, just about a minute in, and we are going to kick off our feature event right now. We'll take a look at the starting lineup. Row number 1 for tonight's feature race is going to be Chase Porter and Jeremy Christensen. Row 2, Matt Grimm and Ernie Williams Jr. Row 3 will be Caden Berry and Justin Osborne. Row 4 will be Trevor Royer and Ty Dickinson. Row 5, Casey Brunson and Craig Silby. Row 6 will be Ryan Sheet and Nick Larry. Row number 7 is going to be Brandon Matson and Curtis Bishop. Row 8, Alex Rosinski and Jack Burke. Row 9, Barrett Bishop and Remington Wade. Row 10, and the final 2 starters here tonight, Matt Taylor and Michael Scurring. "40 long laps in this one, Tim. I guess we say 40 long laps, but lap times do tick off very fast here at this Limaland Motorsports Park. It is that time of the night. Who's your driver to watch?
I'm going to keep my eye on that number 91, the yellow machine of Ernie Williams Jr.
I like that pick. I like that pick, that 91 machine of Ernie Williams Jr. I'm going to be keeping my eye on the 90 machine here tonight of Trevor Royer. He's starting on the inside of row number 4 in P7. But again, you can't count out the 91 machine of Matt Grimm and the 12 of Caden Berry as well. They are 1 and 2 in the points coming into tonight. Pace trucks peeling off this time. Folks, let's get ready to rock and roll. Green flag is in the air. 40 laps of distance in this feature event.
Caden Berry already down below Matt Grimm. He checks up just a bit. Just giving him a little room there, looks like. As they're battling.
Man, oh, there's some cars tangling up in the back. One went up and over. Jack Burke has lost the top wing. We stay green for now. He is rolling. There's the caution flag waving for the first time here in this one. We'll have to go back and take a look, if we can, at what all happened. I'm showing Brandon Matson maybe first with an issue as we go down into the corner. 3 and 4. They crossing the start-finish line there. Matson does get some help from the 7 of Craig Silby to go sideways, and you see everybody behind trying to take evasive action. Szerzinski makes heavy contact with the 21 of Matson. Matson then spins up the hill into the 17 of Jack Burke, sending Jack Burke for a wild ride into the outside retaining wall, exiting turn 2. But Matson and Burke was able to get back going. Burke was just really slow to get back going, so caution flag being displayed here for these drivers. And as we say that, Ty Dickinson currently in the pit area getting work on his machine, but everybody else has rejoined. Looks like 5 or 6 cars did bring it into the work area under this caution flag to get some damage repaired. Well, I'll tell you what. Just 3 laps into this one, it's anybody's ball game. You never know what's going to happen out front. Ty Dickinson able to exit the pit area. He's going to rejoin the field in the 20th spot. Admins in the series try to give roughly 2 minutes to cars needing to get into the work area before going back to green flag racing. But once we're past the halfway point, there is no guaranteed time in the work area. As we double file up, getting ready for the restart. Chase Porter decides when to fire. He does. Green flag back in the air. Caden Berry following him through on the low line. Matt Grimm working the outside line. He is the first car up there for now. Now Porter is going to try to slide the car up and do the same thing. Ernie Williams Jr. in 4th. And it is a hornet's nest for 5th. 2 cars get tangled up together. I think that was Ryan Sheet and the 23 of Casey Brunson getting tangled up in 1 and 2. We'll go back and take a look at this one. Caution flag number 2 of the night. As you look what happened in to turn 3 and 4, everything clean there. Down into turn 1. Looks like Justin Osborne a little slower than Ryan Sheet. Sheet has to jump out of the gas, and you see him gas it back up, and the 23 machine of Casey Brunson actually hit one of the tires. That popped the front end of his car up, and he drove right into the 10 of Sheet. Unfortunately, 2 cars involved in this one, and Sheet loses the nose wing, so he will for sure have to bring it to the attention of his crew in the work area as he went ahead and towed, and Brunson's going to go ahead and drive away. Two laps on the clock for the drivers in the work area. About just over a minute has surpassed since the yellow flag has been displayed. Well, if you're the drivers that's out front, like Chase Porter, Caden Berry, Matt Grimm, Ernie Williams Jr., they want to see some green flag laps. They want to see this track develop some more. They want to see where the grip changes. They want to see if it moves higher, lower. But we got to get some green flag racing for that to happen. I know, Tim, you were part of the 305 race, and there was quite a few cautions in that one. Did it kind of mess up getting any sort of rhythm down for you that you noticed?
I think if you're in the back half of the field, I think the rhythm is certainly a bit wonky. But if you're up front, if you're in the front half of the field, especially the couple top 5, 6, you're just out there playing a high speed game of chess.
All right, well, field back to green. Porter down low, Berry up high. Who's going to prevail out of turn 2? It was a dead heat into turn 3. Porter's going to try to slide up, but Berry with the power move around the outside. What a move for Caden Berry through 3 and 4 to the race lead. Chase Porter falls.
Williams.
Absolutely. Ernie Williams Jr. making something happen on that restart as well. He was trying to slice and dice into second and did so for a moment. Now he's going to try. Oh, my goodness. I thought there was going to be contact between Ernie Williams and Caden Berry as they had completely different entries into the corner that time. Nobody able to drive away just yet. Caden Berry trying to be as smooth as he can up on that outside cushion. Now Ernie Williams is going to stay up there. Berry used a different line through 1 and 2. Now Ernie Williams with a big time slide job in 3 and 4, but Caden Berry able to cross him over out of turn 4 down the front straightaway back into the race lead. Chase Porter has fallen back to third and into the clutches of Trevor Royer and the likes of Matt Grimm and Justin Osborne. Justin Osborne was tapping the wall a little bit through 3 and 4. He's so high up on the racetrack. Look at the battle for the lead, Tim.
Yeah, they're certainly going at each other's throats here. Slide job after slide job. Defensive moves after defensive moves.
Absolutely. Barry and Ernie Williams up on the outside. Then it's a three-way battle for third. Uh-oh. 2 cars got tangled up together. Justin Osborne got the worst end of that as he got pushed up into the outside wall. Was able to keep going, though, but fell back into the 8th spot. Meanwhile, Barrett Bishop in that number 3 machine up 9 spots. Now make it 10 into P7 here just 15 laps into this one.
Oh, there's a big wreck going into 3.
Third caution flag of the evening is out. Let's take a look at what happened. This happened a little deeper in the field. Keep an eye on the 23. Brunson got into the outside wall there and 1 and 2. Oh, it happened in front of him. Remington Wade, Alex Szerzynski got tangled up. Brunson had nowhere to go. All 3 cars, heavy contact up on the outside of turns 3 and 4. Is Jack Burke able to miss it? I'm not sure. No, he was not able to miss Szerzynski, and he tags him as well there. So, like Tim said, a pretty big wreck there in 3 and 4. Quite a few cars with damage. Still not to the halfway point, so still 2 minutes guaranteed in the work area here tonight. I'll tell you what, Tim, we saw a heck of a move out of Caden Berry just after the last restart to get up there around the outside of Chase Porter and into the lead.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
I said after the last restart, we saw Caden Berry jump up to that outside line and use it to his advantage to get around Chase Porter into the lead.
Yeah, it's drivers are going to write that down in their memory bank and see if they can use it at a later date or even right now.
Absolutely. We've seen Ernie Williams, his car, he's looking good here tonight. He's in second. Definitely was challenging Barry there under that last green flag run. Chase Porter started up in on the pole. He's still there within striking distance. My driver I picked to watch, Trevor Royer, up into the 4th spot now, up 4 from his starting position. Then right behind them, you got Matt Grimm there, and I think that's Curtis Bishop side by side. Tim, get us going for this restart.
All right, pace truck is off. Caden Berry's going to fire away as he turns down. He uses the bottom. Chase Porter tries to slide up in front of Ernie Williams Jr. Ernie Williams now slides in front of Caden. Caden's going to try and turn under. Not quite there, but he's going to run the bottom as Ernie runs the top. Ernie prevails on the top side right now, and we have a yellow.
Yellow flag out for the 4th time. Let's take a look at what happened. This happened a little further back in the field as well. Keep an eye on the 7 machine there. That's Craig Silby. Let's see what happened to him. Into turn 1. Tries to enter a little lower than the 43. And I see the 43 and the 9 may have gotten together. They did just a little bit. Silby already committed to his line, makes contact with the 43 of Larry. Both cars kind of spin sideways. Larry able to continue. And I think Craig Silby tried to get the car righted, and it just didn't want to turn back around for him. So the yellow flag displayed for that spin between the 7 and the 43. Well, since we are in the sprint car world and the way that their timing and scoring is, Ernie Williams hadn't led a full lap, or maybe he has. Did he lead a full lap? Is he considered the leader now, Tim? Okay.
Yes.
Unlike in the oval side of things with the timing loops, they don't have that here in the dirt world. It goes by the last lap led. So Ernie Williams is the new leader at this moment. Caden Berry in the second spot. Chase Porter in third. Trevor Royer fourth. Fifth goes to Curtis Bishop. And what a fantastic run for him so far in this feature. +9. Matt Taylor back there in ninth, +10 on his starting spot. So a couple of hard chargers developing as we press on. Almost just a lap shy of our halfway point. Two by two. Ernie Williams, what's he do? He decides to fire. Good restart for him. He's going to slide across right up in front of Caden Berry, but Chase Porter with a heck of a run through 1 and 2. One car on the outside wall through 1 and 2. We stay green for now. That was Barrett Bishop in the number 3. He's able to get back going as we get to the half distance lap this time. Now Chase Porter, he's trying to get around the outside of Berry, and they touch wheels, and Berry goes around. But the caution flag will come out. We'll go back and try to decipher this one just a little bit. Keep an eye on the 21 and the 12. You see how close they were that time entering 1 and 2. And again, let's see how close they are down out of 2. Yep, and those just fighting over the same amount of track position. They touch wheels. Caden Berry goes for a spin.
Yeah, it looked like Caden Berry was just trying to slide in right behind.
Oh my, and Remington Wade, that's a byproduct of cars trying to avoid Berry, and Remington Wade clips the right rear of Jack Burke, and he went up and over the back end of Jack Burke, and also Nick Larry got a piece of that. You see Caden Berry just spun to a stop. Luckily, nobody else made contact with him, so no further issues. It's just he'll have to regroup at the tail of the field here. And we'll see roundabouts where he is. It looks like currently scored now in the 16th position is Caden Berry, so some work to do in these next 20 laps to get back up there into the top 3. Well, I'll tell you what, if you are Ernie Williams Jr., Chase Porter, Trevor Royer, now into the top 3, Ernie Williams has had a good run going, has a good rhythm set up under green. Chase Porter there, Tim, on that last restart made a heck of a move into turn 1.
Yeah, I think that was just I think Ernie Williams was just trying to take away the top. He knew, he did the same move to Caden on the previous restart, and that set him up to take the lead. So I think Ernie just took that away from Caden and allowed Porter to slide down on the bottom.
Go ahead and get us going here, Tim.
Ernie's going to fire away. He gets a good launch over Chase Porter. You got a battle for third with Curtis Bishop and Trevor Royer, who Royer is now on attack for that second place position. Not quite there.
Admin decided to do a single file restart there. So far, so good. Single file really for the top 6 or so drivers. Back to Justin Osborne, make it 7, 8, and then it's a hornet's nest, I think, back here for the 10th, 11th, 12th spot. You see Jeremy Christensen there, Casey Brunson there, Caden Berry a part of this as well, Craig Silby in the 7, Barrett Bishop in the 3 machine. Drivers spread all over the racetrack. Uh-oh! Ty Dickinson clipped the rear wheel of Berry and almost went for a wild ride down the back straightaway, but both cars able to maintain going just fine. Now 4 wide back here for the 12th spot. Uh-oh, Berry clips a tire and gets loose, has to gather it back in, now back into the 18th spot. Back up front. Battle still raging on for the lead. Ernie Williams Jr., Chase Porter, Trevor Royer. Porter slides across the nose of Royer. Royer crosses him over down the front straightaway and into turn 1. Trevor Royer into the 2nd spot for now. Chase Porter back to 3rd. Curtis Bishop hanging on right there in 4th. Matt Grimm there in 5th, just trying to have a good clean night, a good points night. Oh my goodness! Chase Porter, and I believe that's Curtis Bishop, just tapped wheels, and Porter almost went and crashed that race car. I don't know how he was able to save it, but he did. Up front, uh-oh. Well, folks, Trevor Royer's wing was missing for a moment. Did you see that as well, Tim?
I was looking at the Chase Porter. There was a Chase Porter had sent a massive slider. He passed 2 cars, but he ran out of room and just hit the, looks like the wall from the outside of the track to allow cars to go in. As he settles down in 6th place now under attack, he also makes more contact.
I believe we got, Ty Dickinson hard into the outside wall. Craig Silby with him as well, trying to scan through the field to see exactly what happened. And I believe it started well before that. Let's go back and see what happened to Matt Taylor here in the 15. Looks like Matt Taylor gets help from behind from Silby in the 7. Jeremy Christensen nowhere to go, already committed, makes contact with the 15. Caden Berry trying to get by it. He gets collected up into that one as well. Jack Burke trying to miss it. He makes contact and collected. Nick Larry just trying to miss the accident as well. So at least 5 cars a part of that. And then into turn 1, Silby, I think he makes contact with the 9 of Ty Dickinson getting into turn 1. Well, look at this. This was a secondary accident. Here, Ty Dickinson just getting into the corner, and Silby and Remington Wade both driving a lot harder into turn 1, and that sent Dickinson, the contact with Remington Wade sent him up into the outside wall, and contact with Craig Silby there in the 7. So at least 8 cars in this most recent caution flag with damage. We are underneath 10 to go, no guaranteed time in tonight's work area. Green flag back in the air, 8 laps to go. Curtis Bishop trying his hand down to the bottom. Uh-oh, Matt Grimm goes hard into the outside wall. Is he able to continue? He is, but that car heavily damaged. One car slow right in front of him. That's Michael Skirring in the 07, and Grimm has to gather it back in, still all squirrely. Don't want to leave the battle from the front too long, as Ernie Williams and Trevor Royer are now nose to tail, as the caution flag being displayed now for the 7th time. Let's go back and see. I think it happened back here around the 07 of Skirring. You see, we had just left what happened to Skirring. He gets down into turn 1. The car just didn't seem to want to turn. And he actually brought it to a stop the inside of turn 2 there, and that was enough to bring out the yellow flag. I'm not sure if something happened mechanically with his car or not, but it brought out the caution flag. Well, Tim, I think Limaland has shown a bunch of everything here tonight. I mean, we've had accidents aplenty, and probably some drivers' tempers flaring on the racetrack. It's been a crazy one so far, and we still got 7 laps to go.
Yeah, it's certainly living up to what I said earlier, a high-speed game of chess.
Absolutely, it sure has been. Can Ernie Williams find a way to hold on here in these final laps for his first victory of the season? Trevor Royer looking for his first win, as well as Curtis Bishop, Justin Osborne, and pretty much a host of others in the top 10. Green flag back in the air. Justin Osborne slides across the nose of Royer. Royer didn't let out of the throttle, and Osborne going for a wild ride out of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Oh my. You see the move of Osborne into turn 1. I mean, pulled off a crazy slider as he slides up the racetrack in front of Royer. Royer, I think, tried to let him in line, but just clipped the tail tank of Osborne, and that sent Osborne for a wild ride. Chase Porter clips the Zero Machine, as well as Brandon Matson there in the 21. So still another restart we will have to navigate here in this one. Pretty heavily damaged there for Osborne, but he was able to bring it into the pit area, and he rejoins the field. Base truck is off. Ernie Williams gets us back going here as he crosses the line. Just 5 laps to go. Will we stay green for these 5 laps? Porter going to try what Osborne did. Wasn't able to clear, but he almost cleared Bishop, as that allows Royer and Williams to kind of scoot away from the rest of the field. 4 to go now. Bishop going to try to reel back in the top 2 in these closing laps. Wow, what an interesting line for Ernie Williams and Trevor Royer. I mean, they are right there up on the cushion, inches away from the outside wall through the corner, especially Williams. Royer, he drives it hard into turn 3, big time slide job.
Oh my.
He makes contact with the outside wall. 2 laps to go.
Little contact. I thought he was going to smoke it, dude.
He thought so, but I think he used some brake, and that saved him. Flagman has the white flag in hand. 1 lap to go. Ernie Williams has enough of an advantage. Anything, a prayer would have to be into turn 3, but out of turn 4, Ernie Williams Jr. wins for the first time this season here at Limaland. Trevor Royer comes home tonight in the 2nd spot, and a valiant effort there in the closing laps, battling with Ernie Williams Jr. and Curtis Bishop. And a great charge, plus 11 from his spot into the top 3 for the final car on the podium. We don't want to forget Barrett Bishop finishing 5th, plus 12 here tonight. So a couple of really good hard chargers here tonight. Nonetheless, some takeaways, an awesome finish, kind of caution filled here. But before we get into tonight's interviews, we are going to step aside and get a word from our sponsors over at Premier Racing Setups. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back in. We're going to kick off our interviews here tonight. I don't see the 03 machine of Curtis Bishop just yet available to talk to. We will move on here tonight and talk to the 90 machine of Trevor Royer, who finished second here tonight. Hey, Trevor, it's Tyler and Tim up in the broadcast booth. Do you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, what a wild Limaland race. I believe we had 8, maybe 9 cautions there in that one. He was able to kind of slowly, methodically move your way forward. Was battling there in the closing laps with Ernie Williams Jr. We saw you pull a crazy slider through 3 and 4, and I think you had to jump out of the gas, maybe get on the brakes to keep from smoke in the outside wall, as Tim said. Tell us about your night and what a battle you had there in the closing laps with Ernie.
Yeah, missed the line a little bit there in qualifying, and then in the heat race, just I tried to get the bottom rolling. I felt good down there, but it just wasn't enough to pass those two. So I think I started 7th in the A, and was kind of just I knew early on I could run either line and just go where they weren't, and was able to pick some guys off and. A couple guys had some issues. Caden, he's always fast, and he kind of took himself out of that one, I think, and then I was able to get by Chase up into second, and yeah, my teammate Ernie Williams there, he's pretty good at Lyman. This is his home track, so every time we run here, he there's some extra motivation for him to do good. So yeah, I gave it one. I feel like I had one really good shot at him there at the end, and I'm not sure how close it was. I knew I had to send it pretty hard to clear him. I don't want to do anything to jeopardize either one of our finishes, but yeah, I threw it in there a little too hard and almost didn't get it stopped. I think I bounced off the wall and was able to keep it going, but that kind of ruined my chances of taking another shot at the lead there. So congrats to Ernie on the win, well deserved, and we'll take a second tonight.
Absolutely fantastic run for you here. Tim, do you have anything to ask Trevor?
Yeah, Trevor, how difficult is it to get a grip on the track uh, throughout the night? And I'm sure I got to ask you, when you dive down, how scary is it to see that wall come up as quick as it did?
Yeah, honestly, my going into 3, my first thought was I have to make sure I clear him, and then when I realized there wasn't a lot of room left, but when I realized that I was about to hit the wall, to somehow I slowed it down enough. I thought I was hitting it, honestly. I thought I was taking myself out for a moment, but yeah, it was a little pucker factor there for sure. um, lucky to be able to drive out of that one for sure. But um, yeah, good race overall.
Absolutely. The end of that thing put on a show for us up here in the booth and everybody watching at home. Before we let you go, Trevor, anybody you need to thank?
Oh yeah, first I want to say congrats again to Ernie on the win. My team, Black Diamond Motorsports, so we went 1-2 tonight. Pretty cool to have multiple cars up on the podium, especially on a fixed setup when everyone's on the same stuff. Ultimate Dirt TV, 19 Designs, Tim's Dirt Track Simulators. You guys for putting on the broadcast, and then everything that Ben and Andrew do for this league, all the BS they have to deal with on some occasions. Hopefully, there's a lot of good moments that keep them going at it, because um, us guys, we need somewhere to race, and it takes some guys like those two willing to be able to put that on for us. So thank you to them and everybody watching. I know there was quite a few yellows. Personally, the least amount of yellows as possible. I prefer. Every once in a while you'll get in a situation where you want a yellow, but I'd rather see a race go green to checker, catch some lap traffic than really put on a show. But yeah, thank you everybody watching. You guys again, and I don't know what track we're at next week, but maybe I'll see you next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, congratulations on the second place finish tonight and a 1-2 for your team. We'll let you celebrate it.
Yep. Thank you very much, guys.
All right, that was our second place finisher, Trevor Royer. Now we're going to get to talk to our winner here tonight. Hey, Ernie, it's Tyler and Tim up in the booth. You got a copy?
Got you, boys.
Man, what a race you put on. And you had to battle. You got your way to the lead. You had to hold off the run from your teammate Trevor there behind you in the closing laps. He let us know this is your home track. How does a victory feel tonight at your home track?
It always feels good, man. I put a lot of laps ever since I got on this simulator. Eldora and Lima is the tracks I put on the most. So I kind of like try to, make sure I show up good here when I get here. And I love the track, and it's just one of them things that hopefully I can be good at all the time. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I know we had some cautions and some craziness happen, and a couple of the points leaders coming into the night having some hiccups, but you were able to navigate your way through that and come away with the win. Tim, do you have anything to ask Ernie?
Yeah, in the beginning of the race, you made a couple moves. You almost got to the tail tank and spun. I'm not going to say you almost spun them around, but it certainly looked like you were about to make contact. What was so difficult about making these passes and attempts to make passes?
Yeah, once the track gets like that, it gets very hard to get around people. So that's why I was running Caden so hard at the beginning. I knew he would be tough to beat, and if I knew I could get around him early, I knew it would be a whole lot harder for him to get around me later. So I was trying really, really hard to get around him, and we was battling through a couple slide jobs at each other. And as you could see, he would always get back around me, and I think he hit the wall or something, and I was able to get under him, or I turned down, and I got a good enough run where I could hold him off. But yeah, I wanted to run real hard at the beginning of the race. I started P4, so I wanted to get to the lead as quick as I could. And like I said, man, the track was just I felt like it was just going to stay to the top. It was going to be very hard to get around somebody, even if you threw a slider, they could turn back down under you. So I just figured get to the lead as quick as I could, and especially in front of Caden, I figured he would be the favorite. You know what I mean? I know he runs the bottom too, so I knew if anybody would be able to get around the bottom and give me some battles there late, I knew it would be him. So, but something must have happened with him, and I seen him that he was in the back and ended up finishing eighth. And but other than that, that was the philosophy: was get to the lead as quick as I could and jump to the cushion. I just felt like that would be the high or the fastest lane, and I could at least be able to, if somebody did throw a slider, to be able to at least turn it down, or I had an option Alpha 2 or Alpha 4 for it.
Absolutely fantastic from you here tonight, Ernie. Before we let you go, though, anybody you need to thank?
Absolutely, man. I want to give the guys Reigel Promotions, Andrew and Benjamin to do a good job. You guys do a great job with the broadcast. Can't wait to go back and watch it. Tim Sims up in Lima, Ohio. He's a big sponsor to the team. He owns the simulators that's all around Knoxville and everything. I'm sure everybody's seen them. He's a big supporter of the team. Want to thank all the fans and everybody that come out and watched. And hopefully we get back here and talk to you again next week, boys. And you guys have a good day.
Absolutely, Ernie. We certainly appreciate the kind words. We'll let you celebrate the big victory here tonight at your home track. All right, that's going to conclude our interviews here tonight. As I don't see our third place driver available here tonight. Maybe sometime in the future we'll get to talk to him. But man, Tim, what kind of really a battle of attrition throughout the night here in round number 5 with this Harvest Cup.
Yeah, it was a race for the ages. A lot of battles, just hard racing. You just love to see it.
Absolutely hard racing. Congratulations, Ernie Williams Jr., Trevor Royer, Curtis Bishop, our top 3. Again, Curtis Bishop and Barrett Bishop, our hard chargers here tonight. Barrett Bishop plus 12, Curtis Bishop plus 11. We might see a shakeup in the points coming into round number 6 next week, but we'll talk about that more into next week. Upcoming for us on the Buckeye Racing Network. This coming Sunday night, we will have a doubleheader here on BRN. We will have Two Fat Guys Sim Racing Promotions next special event at about 7 o'clock Eastern Time this coming Sunday night. I know it's a free-to-enter event if any of you drivers would like to take part in that. I think it's the VW Jettas at one of these dirt tracks. And off the top of my head, I am blanking out on which one, but I know it's a free event to enter if you guys want to come out and take part in that. We will have all the coverage live here on the Buckeye Racing Network. Of course, we will have the League of Outlaws event with the next race in their IMCA-style modified series. We'll be live at about 9:15, so after the conclusion of the Two Fat Guys Sim Racing Promotion special event, we will have the League of Outlaws next league race shortly thereafter. And of course, next Monday night, right here, same place for round number 6 of this Harvest Cup. And that's going to do it for us here tonight from Limaland. For Tim Henderson, I'm Tyler Bentley. Good night.